This is a 2022 Ford Expedition Limited Stealth Appearance Package. And I believe it's got a bent knuckle. So I'm going to take this left front knuckle off and replace it with a new one. So we're going to start out by taking this front wheel off. The closest size I've got is a 36 millimeter for the axle nut. I think that's correct. It might be one size smaller, I doubt it. Next, I'm going to take the brakes off. Brakes are 21 millimeter socket, same as the lug nuts. There it comes. Two very big bolts with lots of Loctite on them. And I think I'm going to take this one out right away. And this brake hose bracket is going to be a 10 millimeter. Let me get that clip. That'll give me a little extra length on this. Doggone, that is a heavy caliper. See if that stays up there. And of course the rotor's loose. We'll take this nut all the way off. I don't know if it has to come off, but I'm going to take the dust shield off. That's an 8 millimeter. This is partially hidden by this, so I'm going to need an extension. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to take this off when I'm replacing the knuckle. And these are self-tapping screws because your new knuckle, those holes are not tapped. They are just drilled. So you need self-tapping screws for all these small holes. Dust shield's loose. And this is the wheel speed sensor. H5 Allen head bolt. And carefully wheel that loose. The tie rod and the lower ball joint are 21 millimeters, same as the lug nuts. That one popped loose right away. That one not yet. And this upper one is, it might be an 18. one's loose. Sure how so low the knuckle didn't drop that far. I'll probably have to jack that up to get that back in. And there she is, knuckle with bearing assembly. This Expedition is a little less complicated since they took the IWE off. The joints feel okay. This one's probably the loosest. These are all tight. All right. Let's get the wheel bearing off and compare it to our new knuckle and see if it looks like this one actually is bent. Now, one of the biggest challenges with these aluminum knuckles and seal bearing, the bearing is not coated with anything, so it's metal on metal, and with galvanic corrosion it erodes the aluminum and it locks the bearings in. So let's see if this one's locked in or is it going to fall out of there. The Expedition's only got 20,000 miles, so I'm hoping that it's not stuck in there. By design, these the bearing to knuckle, it is a clearance fit. It's not a press fit. So I'm going to squirt some penetrating oil in here and see if let that set. So I did get the bearing out of the knuckle. I had to use my small hydraulic press, but it popped out pretty easy. It really wasn't stuck in there that tight. And interestingly enough, and this is where it was stuck to the bearing. You can see this green O-ring, and that green O-ring, as I recall, was originally put on there to keep the dirt out of the IWE system, dirt and moisture out of the IWE system. And this one doesn't have an IWE, so I'm not sure why they left the O-ring on here unless it was just using a carryover bearing. And sometimes it can cost more to take something like that off than it is to just leave it on there. So anyway, got it off. And now I'm going to check the knuckle to see if the knuckle appears to be bent or not. This is about the flattest surface I've got. It's of course not a granite inspection plate or anything like that, but I'm actually looking for about 3/8 of an inch is what I was guessing on a height difference, and it is off. It looks like this hole, it's kind of hard to see in the camera, I'm sure, but this hole is lower to the table than this hole, and they should be the same height. And so I can actually check the height of this lower lip to this lower lip. So this looks like what's my alignment problem. As soon as I put this in here, they should be able to finish up the alignment. I'm going to try this first. I made this little T with a couple pieces of wood. I'm going to hold that up against the upper ball joint taper. And I've got a little sharp prick thing. And I'm going to shove that in down there on the bottom edge and scribe an arc for the bottom of the tapered hole. And I'll do that with this one. Try to get that in about the same position. And then I'll measure the distance between the two, and now it's 1/4 of an inch. It's a little bit less than I was hoping, or than I thought, but that's pretty significant. Let's go put the knuckle on. So first step in the reassembly process is we'll take the bearing and see if that needs to be cleaned up a little bit. So on these 4 ears, that puffs right out. With a little emery cloth. And I'm going to go ahead and take this O-ring off because I don't think it serves any purpose. And then for the next guy, I'm going to slather on some grease on the pilot diameter. Yeah, some of this will wash off with time, but in the meantime, one of these days somebody else is going to try and get this knuckle and bearing separated. And then they're going to be pissed because this side comes off so easy and the other side doesn't. I'm going to wipe the most of it off the face. We don't actually need any grease on that, on the face. There's the ABS hole. So we want to make sure that's on the top. And of course this is the top for the ABS, and actually this was actually a clearance groove for the ABS wire. So make sure you put it on there because I think the bearing's completely, what do you want to call it, asymmetrical. You can put it on any of four ways. But when you go to put your ABS back on, you're going to run into a little problem when it's somewhere else. So for reassembly, make sure the tapers are clean of grease. You don't want, I mean, a little bit's not going to kill you, but make sure you wipe these off so there's no grease on them. We're going to put it back together the way we took it apart, pretty much. And we're going to get that hooked on that lower ball joint and get it on the axle. Keep that lower ball joint in there. And I'm going to think it's this nut. Find out. Tie rod. Ooh, I think that was also a big nut. And a smaller nut's going to go up there. So clearly one of the challenges of getting this back together is to get that up, because the shock and spring are basically holding this down. So we need to get a jack or a jack stand underneath the lower control arm and try to compress the spring a little bit just to get that extra inch or so that I need to get that nut on. Got it. And of course, the ball stud's trying to turn. The ball stud's turning, kind of hit or miss. But if it starts turning, you can always put a wrench on this here to hold the stud, and then you have to use a wrench on the nut. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Goodbye. Torque. Next we'll do the lower bowl joint. Axle nut. ABS sensor, or wheel speed sensor now actually. And that wheel speed sensor has a lot of plastic in it. It's got a steel insert, so you shouldn't be able to break it, but I'm going to tighten it up by hand. It's got an O-ring seal, so that doesn't have to be over tightened. I'm going to take the dust shield, put that back on. And we'll hang the rotor on there. Pull the lug nut on. There we go. Then I'm going to turn it, and then we're going to hang the brakes on and get those two bolts on. And the hose bracket fits in that hole. Plug that back in and hook these clips up. They came unconnected. And I think that's it. Take this lug nut off. Ooh. those are supposed to be torqued to, I believe, 150 foot-pounds. And I'm going to drop it down and I'll hand check the torque on the wheels. And that's going to finish up the knuckle change on the 2022 Ford Expedition Stealth. And hope you enjoyed watching and learned something. Thanks for watching.